In February 28th of 2019, I ruptured my Achilles tendon. Before this happened, I had sprained my ankle a few times. I figured this would be much like it. You get your crutches, you hobble around for a little bit, you ice, you rest, take a few weeks and you recover, and things go back to normal. What I learned shortly after my injury is that this was going to be completely different. It was going to be less of an interruption to my lifestyle and more of a complete disruption. It's going to be close to 2 years before I'm fully recovered. And what I mean by fully recovered is a completely new normal. Things are not going back to exactly the way that they were. I was going to need to have surgery to reattach my tendon, wear a cast for 2 weeks, stay in bed with it elevated, not do anything. That I was going to get a heavy boot and be not weight-bearing on crutches for months. And when the doctor gave me permission, I could slowly begin to put weight back on it. And after months of adding weight slowly of my own body weight, then I could cast off my boot and my crutches and walk with a different shoe with shims in my shoe until I developed enough flexibility to walk as normal. And I'm not even talking about the strength and the physical therapy that I had to go through. There are so many more steps to this whole process that I'm not even beginning to talk about. Needless to say, it was nothing like a sprained ankle at all. This injury, this disruption, totally redefined my life and that of my family. At this point, you may be asking, why are you telling me this story? It's a good question. Earlier this week, I was going on a walk and I had this feeling of tiredness. But it's not the kind where you want to go to sleep. It was a different kind of tiredness. And I thought, wait a second. I've had this tiredness before. I had it during the recovery of my Achilles tendon injury. It's the kind of tired where I'm just worn out from the discomfort of the injury and the completely new and frustrating lifestyle that this injury thrust upon me. Sure, the first few weeks were a little fun maybe as I tried to do normal life on my crutches. But I got old real fast trying to take 5 minutes to refill a cup of coffee as I worked it across the counter and hobbling on my crutches. I couldn't take any shortcuts either. This kind of healing took time. I could only make it longer by not doing the right things. And I'm guessing that this is the kind of weariness is where some of us are right now in this time. Yeah, maybe it was interesting to stream church on a Sunday morning while sitting in our couch, sipping a cup of coffee in our PJs. And maybe you got to spend a little bit more time with your family or working on your hobbies or time on your own. It was fun for a bit. Maybe. But now it's getting a little old and we'd like this to be over. This is a different kind of weariness that invites perseverance. It's when we want to give up and pretend that things are normal. We must go on. So our family is driving us crazy, even though we love them so much. We must continue. When we're judged for wearing a face mask and are keeping our distance, we must go on. When we're judged for not wearing a mask or hugging a family member, we must keep going. How does one do this, you may ask? In 2 Corinthians, Paul talks to the church and begins to encourage them when they're experiencing weariness. In chapter 4, he tells them how to do this. He says, "This extraordinary power belongs to God and does not come from us. We are afflicted in every way, but are not crushed, perplexed, but not driven to despair, persecuted, but not forsaken, struck down, but not destroyed. My Achilles tendon injury completely changed my life. Even though it's been over a year, I'm still unable to do all the things that I did before. There's times that I wish that things could go back to the way they were. For me and for us, I hear the promise in Paul's words for any weariness that we feel in these times. We can and will get through this. We may grow weary, but we are not alone. And the power to get through this comes from God.